Hey guys, it's Graham. What's cracking? I got another five-star book for you. I might even put it on the best of your list just because I really got into it. I had a great time reading it. It's called By the Great Horn Spoon. Weird title, but let's go with it. It's by Sid Fleischman. The book was originally published in 1963, and it's stayed relevant since then. Not long into this book, I wanted to describe it like it's like if Louis L'Amour was writing something aimed at a younger audience. In the 60s, I don't know if middle grade as a publishing genre or audience was as aggressively defined as it is now. I think that came about later in the 90s. I think we can thank Harry Potter for that. Nevertheless, this book was aimed at younger readers, but still written in a way that made it very entertaining and engaging for more seasoned readers. For me as a dad, the big takeaway was like I can really sink my teeth into this, but I'm also excited to share it with my boys because they could appreciate it too. And the main character is close to the same age as my boys, and so if it's a bit of a hard sell to think like, oh, here's a 12-year-old protagonist and he's going off and doing something crazy, it's like, well, I could see my boys getting an idea like this in their heads, and if they had the same instruments to hand as the main character in this book, then they might have done something equally as harebrained. It's set in the mid 1800s, specifically while the California Gold Rush is still going on in San Francisco. The main character is a boy named Jack. He is living in the care of his Aunt Arabella, and she's kind of an old maid. She's taking care of Jack and his sisters, and she's got a butler who just goes by the name of Praiseworthy. And Jack's like, well, I want to help take care of my Aunt Arabella's debts, and even if she has to sell her kind of ancestral family mansion in Boston, she's still not going to be able to cover all the debts. So Jack's like, well, why don't I take Praiseworthy with me, and we'll stow away aboard a ship, and we'll head out to California, and we'll become rich off of gold like everybody's doing. And from there, it's paced extremely well because remember, like you've got to keep the attention of a child while you're writing this. It's paced very well, and it doesn't really waste any time or waste any words on anything. From there, Jack and Praiseworthy constantly find themselves in a series of ups and downs, like good luck and bad luck, and it's all done while walking you through what the world was like at this time period. What was the sailing voyage like? What were their challenges? What were their motivations? What were some of the hiccups that they had on the voyage with other sailors and prospective miners? What happened when they actually got to California? What did it look like there? What did it cost them? How did they make money while they were trying to get the materials that they needed to go out and mine for gold or pan for gold? I will say that it's kind of short on sharp edges, but it doesn't shy away from what hazards were. It's just trying to present them in kind of a kid-friendly way. It shows everybody as being much more amenable to the company of others versus like people doing a whole lot of aggressive claim jumping. There is one point where Jack and Praiseworthy and the group that they're traveling with get hit by highwaymen and they get robbed, and they've got to be careful and clever about that. And then they get to the mining part, and they have some successes and some failures there, and then they've got to get from Frisco to Sacramento, and there are some failures there, and it's just one thing after another. But it's portrayed very authentically. It comes off as real. What are the challenges that somebody might face if they're trying to participate in the California Gold Rush shortly after it kicks off? It just, like I said, it feels like this is what Louis L'Amour would write if he was writing to a younger audience. That gets me excited because you guys know how much I love Louis L'Amour. If I want to get my kids sold on him, like there's no way that I, at in a middle school age, would have taken up a whole lot of interest in Louis L'Amour, because at that time I was more stoked on things like Animorphs, right? But if they can get seasoned on a book like this and then have a greater interest in reading something that is topically the same but just moves a little slower and goes into a little bit more detail, then that's fantastic. I'll spare you how it all ended, but it was a feel-good ride. and you almost might call it like an historical fiction meets a slice of life. Only it's a quest, it's a journey, it's a voyage. It's not just like, hey, here's what life is like for um, a precocious 12-year-old Boston boy in 1849. It's a little bit more involved than that, but at the same time, it's trying to show you what life was like at that time, specifically in that pursuit. So I thought it was fantastic. Content-wise, it was good and clean. It was wholesome. And I'll definitely grab a copy of this for our library. But go check out By the Great Horn Spoon by Sid Fleischman. I really wish that I could remember who recommended that to me, because I owe them a great deal of thanks. So, short video. It's kind of frustrating that when you're talking about something that you like, you have less to say than when you're picking at something that you've got quibbles about. But for me, anyway, I think that that's a matter of like not wanting to give too much away. Like, I enjoyed this. Here's what it's about. Here's what I liked about it. I don't want to give the whole thing away. I want you to experience it in kind of the same way that I did, and then go from there. So that's my 2 cents on that front. Anyway, thanks for listening. Go check this book out. I've got an affiliate link in the description below. Drive safe. See you out there.